A few summers ago, I was at the beach. I decided to go in the ocean to swim because I love to swim. After a while doing that, I walked back up on shore, and while I was walking back up, I noticed this little girl with her family, and she gave me this odd little look. And then she said, "What's wrong with you?" And I looked at her, and I looked her right in the eyes, and I said, "When I was your age, I didn't eat my vegetables." Needless to say, that freaked her out a little bit. She looked at her parents, and her parents just stood there and did this. Well, I was born in Romania, and as you can see, I was born without arms. Straight from birth, I was given up to an orphanage where I lived for the first 3 years of my life. The conditions in the orphanage and the lack of care that I got left me in a very bad state. But luckily, at the age of 3, I was adopted by my family now. At that point, they picked me up for the first time, and I weighed only 9 pounds. I was on the brink of dying, and it looked to be a hopeless situation. But as my life would have it, I was adopted and rescued from that situation. Adoption saved my life. As you can imagine, growing up without arms in my position, there were a lot of challenges that I had to learn to face and to overcome. Just everyday things that I had to learn to do that maybe you might take for granted, like learning how to eat and hold a fork with my foot, or getting changed, or taking a shower, or doing all that kind of stuff. I had to learn how to do it my own way. I always try to get the phrase across, I'm different but not less. One challenge in particular that I want to lay out for you, I faced when I turned 15 and a half. I was really excited about the idea of possibly driving a car, as any teenager would be. But the debate that I had was, would I drive a car that was modified for me, or could I just drive a normal car with my feet? I decided to try to figure out how to drive a car my own way because I knew that modifying a car would be really expensive for my parents, and then that would also limit me to that one car. So I decided and figured out that I could drive a car with this foot down on the gas and the brake, and then just reach up and use this foot. My license plate says armless guy, so it gives you a warning. If we're on the road and you see me, it's a little warning. But I'll definitely wave to you with this whole foot here. But more so than the physical challenges of growing up without arms, I want to focus in on the emotional aspect of being different in a public school. You see, I experienced a fair amount of bullying and name-calling and being picked on in middle school and in high school. All I ever wanted to do was to fit in and to be accepted and to be loved. That's all we all want, right? But from day one, I experienced what it meant to be different and to be treated different. I remember this one instance where I was at lunch at the cafeteria, and these kids walked by and they started laughing at me and pointing, and they were like, "Oh, that's gross, take your feet off the table." And I was a 12-year-old kid. And that really, really hurt, and it hurt so much to the point where the more that happened, I got to the point where I decided I'm just not going to eat lunch at school because I'm so ashamed of the way I eat. All this bullying, all this being picked on, this led me to be just shameful of who I am. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. All I wanted to do was to be different, was to be born with arms. I reached a very low point in my life. I became really depressed, angry at everything, suicidal. I hated who I was. But eventually, I realized that just because I don't have arms doesn't mean that I can't fulfill my dreams. I realized that just because I'm different, it doesn't mean that I'm less. I realized that I have my family who's there to support me. I have my faith that gives me purpose and hope. And if I choose it, I have a fight and a will to persevere through any circumstances. Because at the end of the day, I understood something, and I understand it now, that the only thing that can really get in my way, the only thing that can really get in your way is yourself. No matter what I go through, no matter what we all go through, we're not alone in our struggles. And when we face our struggles together, anything's possible and we can get through anything. So I want to share with you a song that I wrote called Not Abandoned. And this is a reminder for me, but maybe for you too, that as you navigate life and you go through struggles, that you're not abandoned. So this is Not Abandoned, and I hope you enjoy it. Every day, every hour, wondering if you'll make it out. You've been here for as long as you can remember, trapped inside this hollow shell. You're not abandoned. You're not alone. There is a family that wants to make you their own. You're gonna find out that on this broken road there is a pathway that's gonna lead you home, lead you home. You're not abandoned. You're not alone. There is a family that wants to make you their own. You're gonna find out that on this broken road there is a pathway that's gonna lead you home, lead you home. Thank you.